All right, hello, hello, hello. This is Dreaded Crypto Channel coming at you. It's June 14th, 2022. Last night we had a bit more of a capitulation dump. We actually, for the first time in really Bitcoin's history, during a bull market, bear market transition, we actually touched the previous all-time high pretty much at 20,000. It was like 20,800 I saw. I mean, the technical top would be like 19.9, something like that. But yeah, so the Bitcoin is doing things that it's never done before. A lot of this is stemming from just the macro insane circumstances. What we have is a liquidity crisis slash debt bubble that's seems to be popping. I mean, maybe they do something. A lot of it depends on the FOMC meeting tomorrow if they do a 50% or 75% or a 1%, or maybe they even go a little less than 25%, or maybe they ease up on the quantitative tightening. Who knows? Um, they're in a rock and a hard place. They got to calm down inflation, obviously, but they created the inflation. They knew what they were doing, but they're basically trying to pump the brakes and everything, and that everything else is crashing because of that. So how far down do we go? We're actually. I thought we were on a little bit more of a bounce than we're seeing right now, and that's a little bit of a bummer. But what is interesting is we actually so far this week we've had less volume than the last dump. Now I'd be. It's just kind of interesting. I mean we may end this week with a higher volume candle than that. Um, but who knows? Maybe we get some buying volume. It's possible, but we'd have to come all the way up to 26, 27, 28K to make this a green wick of any kind. Pretty unlikely. Um, the big thing is that we need to claim the 200 week moving average, and that's at about 22.5, 22.3. We are currently below that. And what I think is probably going to happen is we'll probably make another little low to somewhere at 20K, 19, 18K. I did a quick fib retracement to the previous bear market low, and that's the 0.78 puts us at about 18K. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I will say I was here in 2018 and I actually watched live what happened in this dump right here. And I was watching it live and I just saw the capitulation, the amount of volume that was happening. And I haven't seen that conviction in this dump yet. Look how much more volume we had then. I'm just not seeing that volume. But maybe it's this chart that's not showing it correctly. But I mean, I don't know. I just don't. Maybe it's this chart. Maybe it's this. It's just like, why is it that there's been so much less volume? It's just interesting to me. I think it's the Bitfinex chart is the reason for that. But either way, we didn't. What's interesting, people want to think that we're going to get this huge wick, like similar to the 2020 market crash, where it just got bought up real quick. We didn't get that wick in 2018. It just kind of hovered around, and we will if we close above the 200 this week, we will have a little wick below it already. Just people are expecting a bigger wick, and I don't really expect it, but it could happen, right? Just doing a little technical analysis of previous markets, bull and bear markets. But traditionally the 200 week is really held up. But the problem is this cycle, things have not been going. Things haven't been going the same. So we can't use previous data the way we could before, unfortunately. But we can basically sum up that this is a really good time to be buying Bitcoin, and the main reason for that is we are at a lower RSI than we have ever been. I mean, I think this was 2014. We're actually lower than any bear market crash already. So if we go lower, again, maybe, but I think that was it. I mean, I think, yeah, we go sideways for a few months. It's going to be kind of choppy. It's going to be kind of tough to get out of here, but it's just a lot depends on the FOMC meeting and economic data. Maybe the economic data comes out that's saying that, hey, America's actually doing pretty good right now. It's possible. We just don't know. The market is a complete, utter state of fear, and like we're at an 8, I do believe, the fear and greed index. Yeah, and also the stocks are at complete extreme fear as well. I've been checking that. So it's just interesting. And one other worry, though, I mean, I'm looking at this other chart with the VPVR, if it'll load. It should have already loaded by now. We'll come back to it. Yeah, and also Ethereum. I mean, it did with 11 straight weeks of red. Bitcoin, yeah, we had one little green candle, but really, let's be real, it did nothing. So we've really had 11 straight weeks of dumpage, and it's just very unlikely to me that we get much more. But hell, maybe we get one more capitulative low. We're already here. Ethereum went down to $1,000. It broke its previous all-time high. So that's where, I mean, was Ethereum a precursor to what's going to be happening to Bitcoin? You know, look at how much it's dumped without any kind of reprieve. Yeah, just curious. Let's take a measured move. It basically created a head and shoulders pattern. Let's see if this thing will allow me. I'm just going to do a rudimentary head and shoulders kind of maneuver. It's about right here. Come on now. So right here. Move it. There. Yeah, we've already completed this head and shoulders pretty much. Yeah, I mean it was an ugly head and shoulders. I mean anyway, I mean, it wasn't a very good, obvious one. You can't take these patterns completely seriously, but for the most part, this pattern has been played out. And we also did bounce on the golden pocket. Well, we haven't bounced yet, but we went through it. And maybe that holds. Whoops. And one other thing is Bitcoin. Well, Ethereum is retraced now. Move that. Bear with me. Yeah. Ethereum has retraced almost 80%, 70, 78%, 77% from its all-time high. And that's, we're getting into these ranges where that should be close to the bottom. Previously, last market, it retraced 90%. And if it was going to follow what Bitcoin did in its second and third markets, it would be hitting 83%. So we're really close to a bottom, if not at it. I mean, since we didn't hit the crazy prices that a lot of people were sort of expecting, it's likely that we don't dump quite as much as people were expecting. We're at 70%, 68% with Bitcoin already. And even then, it's just more likely to me that we get a good bounce, even if we go a little bit lower. But we really want to hold that 200 week. There's also a 300 week moving average, which does capture this wick, and I think one other wick earlier in Bitcoin's existence. And I think that holds around 16 or 17K, which also kind of gives me confidence in the 0.78. But what worries me is that if we go lower than the 20K range and we start going towards 17, 18K, you're looking at liquidations on an institutional level. Um, I recently was offered the position as ambassador with Celcius, and Celcius has been under a lot of scrutiny right now, and it's kind of worrisome what's going on because they've shut down everybody's access to withdrawals and everything like that, and that's causing a lot of panic in the market, and that's definitely justifiable with the Luna crash, and then you had um, now we have Tron, which they're under scrutiny with their algorithmic stablecoin. Um, so it's just a very very tough times, and then if, I hate to see Celsius go under or something like that. I mean, just not only being a coin holder with them, but it's just like, did we not make any progress in the last 4 years? And that's what worries me. Is like, I really believe in blockchain. I believe in technology. I believe that Bitcoin is better than gold, and I believe these assets are key to humanity's uh, future and freedom, uh, just transparency of data, um, way to like mitigate the BS in life, to be able to see what's really going on behind the scenes. Blockchain eliminates a lot of things and a lot of deceptions of humanity, and it could be done to make things easier and better for everybody. So, and I think it's just, for me, it's like a little disheartening. It's a little bit shameful that this is all going on because we've done so much in this space, and it's like, wow, we just erased 4 years of work because the previous all-time high was at 800, 900 billion, and we're at 900 billion right now. It's like, did that 4 years not count for anything? Like, what in the world? This isn't. So basically, we're just undervalued now. Where it's just the whole thing is misconstrued. Everything, even with the stock market and tech stocks. I mean, they should be worth more than they are now. Everything's undervalued. Maybe they crashed a little bit more. A lot of people are saying 200-week moving average with the Nasdaq and the other stocks, and like, we're close to it, but we're not there yet. So one more dump could do it. So if Powell wants to dump it, he'll be like, come out tomorrow and be like, hey, we're gonna do 1% interest rates tomorrow. I think that would be the final plunge. But of course, I don't think he's got the spine to do it, and I think he would be known as the guy who crashed the market. It's officially, but maybe that's what he wants. But I don't know, kind of a lot of introspection, just talking about everything. It's really it's going to be interesting to see what happens. We really want to close this week above the 200 week, and hopefully we don't drop too much more. Maybe we get one more week down. Let's hope not. The biggest, I think, cause for the reason this is the bottom. We're very, very close. This is it. I mean, look at where we are on the weekly RSI. That's it. And Ethereum is at the lowest. It's very similar, same kind of same sort of pattern. So very likely we go up from here. Either that or Bitcoin fails, and I don't think it does. Anyway, that's it for me today. Be in touch, and I'll check in with everybody tomorrow. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens. Peace.